Welcome into the Gridiron Grind, Crew 3, Jimmy G, back for another week. Solid week last week on our picks. Better, well, for me, better than it had been.
Yeah.
You, 4-5-1 for you last week. You had the one push. You're still looking solid on the year. Myself, I was struggling. I went 4-4, so 50% is way better than what I've been doing. So that's progress. A little bit of progress. Up, not down.
It is progress, trending up. And if anything, especially in the NFL, you can't call it week to week. I know we'll get into it, but yeah, it's a
tough record.
It's a tough year. It's a tough year so far. And
yes.
Betting might remain kind of up and down for everybody. I was looking at a stat. I don't know if it's true or not. They said kind of the house is winning more. Caesar is up. They always win, right? But they said they're up more on the year, and I wonder if it has something to do with NIL, because these guys don't stay there for so long, and it's harder to build a team. And especially at some of the positions like we talk about, receiver and a lot of the skill positions, you can improve a team all of a sudden. Like, look at Arkansas. We're what, one win away from matching our total.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting as we adapt to betting in these wild NIL times.
Speaking of NIL, did you hear what happened at UNLV? Quarterback Matthew Sluka, just the 3-0. They're in the driver's seat to be the Group of 5 team make the playoffs. And he put out a statement, look, I'm done playing with UNLV. There was promises made to me. They're not being upheld. And I'm done playing for the year, and I'm done playing for UNLV. And then it was released Wednesday that he was promised, a coach had promised him $100,000 if he transferred to UNLV. And basically the kid was like, look, I hadn't gotten it yet, and it became clear of conversations I wasn't going to get it, so therefore I'm not going to play for him. What do you think about
that? I think this is what the competitor in me, I'm sure the competitor in you, also the fact that we're not playing, we'd give anything to be able to play college football, much less get paid to do it. The money some of these kids make. This is a byproduct of NIL. Just add it to the list. I don't blame the kid for wanting to get what he's promised. I never blamed any of these guys for wanting to get paid. I was pretty mad the video game got canceled for a decade.
That was the worst part of NIL.
Let me go ahead and put that out there. But I don't blame that kid for trying to make them hold up their end of the bargain. Used to be they'd have to deliver. They'd have the bag man drop it off already. He'd have got that before he got there. Now, and the flip side of that is, these schools, now they got to pay them. They've never had to pay them before. And really not the schools, right? It's these boosters and alumni and all this stuff. Now they're kind of in control, and the school's sort of out of control. But then, did you hear what UNLV's rebuttal was? Was that it wasn't anyone from the school.
Yeah.
It was, alumni basically promising stuff that's illegal and against NCAA rules. So I don't know. I don't blame the kid, but I think this is this is what happens. This is NIL. It's a byproduct of NIL when you promise these kids the world. Used to be what happened. Kevin Sumlin can promise every quarterback he's going to start. They don't start. What happens? Well, they just took their money and they just transferred, right? So it's kind of the same thing, only now it's a bigger deal.
I think it's kind of the same way. NIL is what it is. It's here to stay. If you promise a kid something, you better make good on that promise. You don't want them leaving week 4.
They have the leverage now too. Kids have the leverage too. Like he's
some team will take a chance on him next year in the transfer portal. He's good.
100%.
He might not go to a big school, but he'll go to another school like UNLV. And it's like, look, we'll give you $100K. Come play with us. And lead us to the playoff. Wild times we live in. You never would have thought this would something like this happen. Because with that kid, I think they were the favorite to make the playoff as a Group of 5 team. The line,
and they're getting looked at for expansion.
Yeah, the line shifted heavily. Now they're only a 2-point favorite against Fresno State at home, whereas with him they were favored over a touchdown. Interesting development in the NIL train, the NIL space.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if something It is Vegas, right? Sin City, and for years they didn't want any, professional teams out there. Now they're about to have three. I mean, well, four. Actually, they got the Las Vegas Aces, the Knights, the Raiders, and now the Athletics are moving from Oakland.
It's nice that you count the Aces.
Huh?
It's nice that you count the Aces. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Uh, they, they've
Back-to-back
got
WNBA champs, by the way.
right. That's right. They got four professional teams out there. It'll be interesting to see if somebody doesn't pony up the money between now and Saturday to get him. Might be something to look forward to. Might have a pick on that later. I don't know. But yeah, like we both agreed. I think this is a byproduct of NIL, and this is get ready. This he won't be the last. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. All right. Quick recap of last week. Week 4 headlines. You had Illinois on top of Nebraska last Monday night. Michigan beat USC in a really good football game. Utah beats Oklahoma State. Tennessee beats OU, but that score, OU scores 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, make it closer than what it actually was.
Yeah.
OU offense is in trouble. Going to a new quarterback, starting a true freshman. Hawkins, I believe he's from Allen, benching Jackson Arnold. Jimmy, is that the last time we ever see Jackson Arnold in the crimson and cream Boomer Sooner jersey? I said on Saturday, I was like, that kid's going to look real good in like Red Raider black and red or TCU purple or SMU blue, red, white, and blue next year.
It wouldn't surprise, and no, I don't think it is because I think that, with injuries and the way that if Venables has already shown he'll pull a guy, I think he'll put him back in. If this Hawkins kid gets to hi Toto. Toto says hi.
What's up, Toto?
If this Hawkins kid gets to playing awful, also wouldn't surprise me to see that dude go to UNT.
Yeah, mean
you just, I mean, he's from Geyer, so I don't know, but I don't think I think it may be that now next year, I don't think he'll be there. I think you're exactly right. But this season, I think he'll play again. I think, like I said, this Hawkins kid, unless he's the real deal. I mean, unless he's Arch Manning type caliber where you go, oh, golly, we've then take a drop off. Well, no use case.
Well, Sooner fans tried to say all summer that he was better than Arch Manning. I don't know how that's going for him now.
Yeah. Well, now they get their money where their mouth is. You get to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy. They paid him the money. They let Dylan Gabriel walk, and they paid Jackson Arnold to be the quarterback. And now he looks terrible. Like he looks bad. I mean, I don't blame Venables for making the move. I'd have made the move too. That's how Jackson Arnold was looking.
You got to do something.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where OU goes. Tennessee gave him a rude awakening to the SEC. Big game for OU now on the road at Auburn. Let's look at the biggest games of the week. Number 20, Oklahoma State, and number 23, Kansas State. Oklahoma State lost to Utah at home. Kansas State got smoked by BYU on the road. Called that one. We got number 15, Louisville, at number 16, Notre Dame. Number 15, Louisville, under the radar so far this year. Undefeated. Notre Dame already has a loss at home to Northern Illinois. Jeff Brom's got that team rolling at Louisville. It's going to be a good game. Number 19, Illinois, and number 9, Penn State. Huge spread on that one. And then the big ones, number 2, Georgia, at number 4, Alabama. Jimmy, which one of those or how many of those you looking forward to watching on Saturday?
Most of them. I'm really intrigued by Illinois, Penn State. Illinois coming off the upset win, overtime over Nebraska, and little Mahomes. And Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah.
Because Kirby Smart, I love that. What would it mean that interview this week where they said, what would it mean if you beat Alabama? He said, well, we got to get ready for Auburn. And he's no disrespect. It just, it's another game in the SEC. And he goes, and they want to make something out of, this. And I liked Kirby Smart's response as kind of next game on the schedule type deal. So
he might be saying that, but I don't think they're going to be. There's a little added extra there because this is a team that kept them out of the playoff. They were undefeated regular season, lose Alabama SEC championship. I know Nick Saban's not there anymore, but there's a little added emphasis this week from the players and from Kirby Smart himself. Like, we got to show the world we're for real. Everybody's down on us. Everybody's doubting us. They took us away from number 1 in the polls. We're on the road. One interesting thought, though, Kellen DeBoer comes from Washington. Now, Washington played Oregon twice last year and beat them both times. Oregon's head coach, Dan Lanning, was Kirby Smart's defensive coordinator at Oregon for a couple of seasons, so they run the same defense. Kellen DeBoer beat that defense twice last year. So keep that in the back of your mind. Kellen DeBoer, can he do it again? I think Kirby Smart's going to have his team ready to play. It's going to be a great weekend of football. Not to mention, we got at Jerry's World, A&M, Arkansas, that annual game. Can Arkansas, what have they won? One in the last 10 years against A&M? Should have won.
Yeah, should have won last year, but we had KJ Jefferson take off from the 35-yard line, it seemed like, and tried to jump in and fumbled it, and then forward progress was stopped. They didn't blow the whistle. So whatever. I'm not salty about it. Anything. I just yeah. Yeah, that was the first time we had beaten 2 years ago. Was the first time we'd beaten A&M since they joined the SEC.
Yeah.
Played them close, stomped them when they were in the Big 12. Of course, the first 2 years there in the SEC, they had Johnny Manziel. So, that is what it is. But yeah, be a good game. Arkansas +4 in that one. A&M's favored, neutral site. So we'll see. I tell you what, this is the most hope. Other than the year we beat them, this is probably maybe one of the best teams we've had going into it.
Yeah, I agree. In 2021, y'all were rolling when you beat them.
Yeah,
excited to watch that game. Texas, I'll be in Austin at the Texas Mississippi State game. SEC opener for the Horns. 38.
That Mississippi State may not score.
No, they might not. I'd be great. Texas might score a million. Just depends on how much Sark wants to run it up. I mean, Texas has a bye next week before OU, so we'll see. Quinn Ewers, is questionable. I think he's going to start. Sounds like he's going to start to me, but it's questionable. But Arch Manning starts. He starts. He looked human last week against Louisiana Monroe. 2 interceptions, so he's not an alien like some had proclaimed. He's human. He makes mistakes. He looked like a redshirt freshman quarterback making his first start last week. So, but huge games, implications, Georgia and Alabama. Super excited for that one. NFL, Cowboys lose again at home. They've lost 3 games in a row at AT&T Stadium. AT&T Stadium, where everybody wins except the Cowboys. And none of them have really been close. I know the score ended up being close to the Ravens. Got blew out by the Packers. Blew out last week against the Saints. Ravens, we had scored 3 touchdowns unanswered to make it 28-25 or something.
Yeah.
Had to recover an onside kick. Couldn't get the last onside kick.
Watermelon kick made an appearance again.
Yeah, watermelon kick coming through. What's the panic meter? 10. We should be freaking out. World's on fire. Oh my gosh. 0. Don't worry about it. Jimmy, where's your panic meter with the Dallas Cowboys right now, sitting at 1 and 2?
So I thought about this after the game a lot. I'm personally about a 5.5, maybe a 6. If we look like crap against the Giants, who are crap,
yes,
I mean they have nobody.
They're terrible.
They suck. If we don't come out and stomp them, then I think it goes up to a 7. And I'm going to say we may even need to think about trading Parsons. Maybe make a Herschel Walker 2.0 type trade for some team with him, because I mean I say that with an asterisk because we can't run the football. The fact that Deuce Vaughn's getting
have no running game.
Wild to me. I love the story, but this is a good story. This is a Hallmark movie that's gone on for 3 years. It's time to get rid of Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah.
And we don't have anybody else. We let Tony Pollard go. We let Rico Dowdle go. So I'm going, okay, we don't have a running back. We got Dalvin Cook. Let's see what we've got with him. I know you don't need a stud running back. We don't need like we paid Zeke the first time. You don't need one of those guys, but you need somebody who's dependable and can run the football. Can't run the football. We can't stop the run either. Derrick Henry probably ran home, just probably kept going.
Yeah, the rush defense has been a problem since last season. And I don't see it getting better. We don't set the edge. It's remarkable that an NFL team doesn't set the edge. We just let people run around us along the sideline all day. it's a problem. I don't know what's going on with the defense. It's we'll probably look good against the Giants. Remember, Cowboys play Thursday night at the Giants. The Giants are terrible. Cowboys probably bounce back. Giants getting 6 points. But for me, this is kind of where I predicted. I predicted Cowboys to be 5-5 after 10 games. I thought we had a tough schedule. I didn't really have faith in the Cowboys to be any different or better than they were last year. So I got them 5-5 after 10. I think we're going to win Thursday night against the Giants, even though it's on the road. Be 2-2 and right on pace to be 5-5 after 10, 10-7 on the regular season, and hopefully they squeak in the playoffs. But I have concerns that they're not even a playoff team right now. It's like Tampa Bay is playing good. I didn't expect the Saints to be as good as they are. I mean, there's teams that got better. Cowboys did not get better.
No, and I'm telling you, the inability to stop the run is concerning to me.
Yes, I mean it is.
And I'm going, we didn't really do much in the offseason. Our biggest acquisition was getting Zeke back. I just don't know. And I, like we talked about in the preseason, I think fans are kind of getting tired of it. They noticed the absence at training camp. Everybody, Jerry World will always be full because it is one of those people want to come see the Cowboys, and people, it's a great time at the games, but I don't know what we got to do. But we've done nothing this offseason. And like I said, we can't stop the run. Well, what are the Eagles going to do to us? Now, historically, we've done a good job against Saquon Barkley, but I also think historically our defensive line has been probably 180.
We've been able to dominate the Giants' offensive line. Well, he doesn't play for the Giants anymore. He plays for the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's concerning. It's concerning. I have my doubts about the Cowboys this year. We'll see how it goes. Let's move to our picks. Like we said, a little bit better last week for me anyway. 4-4 for me last week. Jimmy 4-5-1. What
did I put?
The push. Well, I got it was an over/under. Was it the Miami?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Miami USF over 65. They scored. It was 50-15.
Jerks.
That was the push. That would have gave you the 500.
Mm.
Anyway, I got 7. I got 4 college, 3 NFL.
I like it. Okay, I've got 6 college, 4 NFL.
Oh, you got 10 spot. All right, nice 10 spot. All right, we'll let you go first then. Rattle off, start with college.
I got it. A team that they caused me to push, but I liked them. They were right there. Miami Vautech, give me over 54.5. This is a Friday game. Miami's playing well. They were right there. Again, last week it was 65, so now it's down to 54. I think Miami and Vautech between them can get it. So give me over 54.5, Miami and Virginia Tech.
All right, I got one same game. Friday night, like you said, Miami hosting Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has not been near as good as what people have thought before the season. Miami's been a little bit better. I think Miami's best team in the ACC. It's a big spread, but I'm going to lay it. I think Miami puts it on Virginia Tech. Miami minus 19 at home against Virginia Tech. Lay the big number.
I like it. If that hits, I think the over hits. That's great. Starting out both of us 1-0. All right, moving on to Saturday. Jerry's World, 2:30. Arkansas is taking on Texas A&M. Give me Arkansas +4. I think there's going to be extra motivation there from Bobby Petrino. A&M, who knows what A&M team's going to show up. I think Arkansas looks better than anyone else has thought. Should have been 4-0 if we could figure out how to not turn the football over. And I think we come out 4 points in Jerry World. I think we come out and we cover that, and I think we get the win. So give me Arkansas +4.
It's definitely, if I was betting that game, that's the side I'd be on. I'd be on Arkansas. A&M's quarterback play. They barely squeaked out a win against Bowling Green at home last week. They couldn't.
Yeah.
Bowling Green receiver. See what Taylor Green does to him. I got another one on Friday night. It's Rutgers hosting Washington. It's a short week for both teams, but also don't forget, Washington's like way up here in the Pacific Northwest. Rutgers is like way over here on the East Coast. That's a very long.
Piscataway, New Jersey.
Piscataway, New Jersey. That is a very long flight for kids to make, and it's a short week. Rutgers is a tough, hard-nosed football club. They will put it to you. They put it to Virginia Tech last week in Virginia. Give me Rutgers at home, -2.5. I think they look for a good spot here with that Washington having to go all the way to New Jersey. I like Rutgers, -2.5.
I like it. Rutgers, birthplace of college football. First documented college football game played. The next one, you talked about this, Oklahoma traveling to Auburn, Alabama. Auburn's quarterback last week, I'm going to dig on this one, made some comment, and at the end of it, he was like, I'm excited to play and I'm excited to dominate Arkansas. Throws 3 picks and gets benched.
Yep.
That tells you how bad of a place Auburn is in right now. Oklahoma starting a new quarterback, like you said. I think they're going to get fresh blood, and I think Oklahoma -2.5 is not enough. So give me Oklahoma -2.5 on the road at Auburn. Hugh Freeze, they were calling last week's game against Arkansas the Hot Seat Bowl.
Yeah.
And Hugh Freeze lost. We dominated that game. So I think this is another one. Wouldn't be surprised if Hugh Freeze doesn't make the full season down there in Auburn. So give me OU -2.5.
Interesting, this game, both teams could be starting true freshman quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear that Auburn might go back to Peyton Thorne, their starter, who they benched last week. Oklahoma's definitely starting Hawkins. But you could have 2 backup quarterbacks making their first starts true freshmen in that game. My next one, my third college game, I got Michigan hosting Minnesota. Now, Michigan is basically Iowa this year. Great defense, no offense, can only run the football. Well, Minnesota just played Iowa last week, and Minnesota got smoked, like 31-13. I think Michigan and Iowa are basically the same team. It's in Michigan. Michigan probably plays, but they play just good as defense, and they might be able to run the ball better. I think we just saw this game last week, and it was 31-13. So I'll take Michigan -9 at home against Minnesota.
I like it. Stanford and Clemson. Give me over 57. Clemson, I tell you what, offensively, they've been putting up points. They average 42 a game, which is almost 57. We're 15 points away. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Stanford's averaging 31 a game. So I'm no mathologist, but 73 is a lot better than 57. So give me Stanford and Clemson over 57.
Ever since that Georgia game over the season, Clemson has turned it on. Like often, I don't know,
Yep.
Cade Klubnik has finally figured it out. Garrett Riley, the OC, they are scoring points they've scored over 60 twice since they only put up 3 against Georgia. I think they might have figured some stuff out. Clemson's rolling. I love that bet. Really do. One of our the big games of the week, number 19 Illinois at number 9 Penn State. I was really impressed with Illinois last week. Luke Altmaier, who was awful last year, is having a great start to the season. He hung in there and won that game for him last week against Nebraska. 19 is a lot of points. It's under the lights at home at Penn State. I got to take Illinois here. 19 is a lot of points. I think Illinois' got enough fight in them to keep it under that number. So I'll take Illinois +19 at Penn State.
That one, man, I was on the edge. That one, I was right on the line of taking that, and I agree. Bielema, like I said, Illinois' defense, Penn State is Penn State. They play great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois showed, hey, we can take an offense. Nebraska looked good, and they made Raiola. He struggled against Illinois. They come out with a big win there. Illinois had stops when it needed to, so I like that. I think Illinois covers that. That's a great bet. Georgia, Alabama. Give me Georgia -2.5 against Alabama. Kirby Smart, like we said, like I said earlier, I like the comment. Well, we're just going to get ready for Auburn. They all say that, just like you said. And every now and then, locker room video will leak for what kids recording and what happens. That's a completely different message when it's behind closed doors. And you're exactly right. I think there's a little bit. I don't care if Saban's there or not. I'm tired of losing to damn Alabama. And I think Georgia comes out and he turns the dogs loose And I think Georgia -2. It's not enough points. So give it to me. Georgia -2.
I agree. I'm super pumped for this game. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think something too Kirby Smart wanted to get something here. I like Georgia. All right, what's your last college game?
Last bet. Last week, SMU TCU. Shout out to Wally Joyner. He was at the game in person. As soon as I found out Wally was going, took SMU and the over.
Nice.
Bang. Rocking chair game of the week.
Yeah.
Florida State comes to SMU now. We know what Florida State is. Garbage. They don't have a team bus. They just hop in the waste management truck and drive up from Tallahassee. And I think it's going to be more of it. Not enough points, man, for this over 47. SMU might do that on their own. If Ukulele gives you anything, or whoever they're going to put out there, they might, God rest his soul, they might dig up Bobby Bowden and put him under center. Not going to be enough. Give me SMU, Florida State over 47.
Interesting. That one's in Dallas, right?
Yep.
Yep, it's in Dallas. All right. Okay, moving to NFL. I got those 3 NFL games. I'm going to start it with the first one on Thursday night. Cowboys Giants under 45.5. Giants, they're going to struggle to score. I think our defense will. I mean, the Giants are just so bad. This is going to be one of those games where the Cowboys defense is going to look good. It's going to shut down the Giants. And you're going to be like, all right, Cowboys are back. They figured it out. No, I think the Giants are just that bad. I think the Cowboys will score enough on offense. It won't be a game in question. They'll run it out in the fourth quarter. Giants, I don't think, give you much, if anything at all. I like under 45.5 Cowboys Giants Thursday night.
I like it. I like it. I wanted to take Dallas -6 in that, but I just don't trust us. I just don't trust us right now, Trey. Back, if this is last year, I don't care if they got Saquon or not. We're stomping New York Giants, but this year, I don't know, buddy. My first game, excuse me, Pats and 49ers. Under 41. Under 41. The Pats cannot block anyone.
No.
I don't think they could block you or I trying to blitz.
They couldn't block my 3 daughters.
Dude. And Jacoby Brissett, an interesting take where they said Drake May should not take another snap this year or he might actually die.
Yeah.
That was from a Pats fan. And Gerard Mayo is going to start Jacoby Brissett because he's tough and da-da-da. And yeah, I agree. Jacoby Brissett's tough. And you probably don't want to cripple your first-round quarterback. Their offensive line is garbage. San Francisco's got pretty good defense, pretty good defensive line. Purdy might be hurt, so they might rely a whole lot on the run game. McCaffrey's gone. The Madden curse has sent him to Europe or something to seek some kind of hoodoo, whatever treatment.
How about
that? Yeah, that's pretty wild. So I think it's under. I think under 41. I think this has got a 20-something to 10-something. I think this is how many points? Give me under 41.
Okay. All right. Jaguars Texans under 45. Jaguars offense stinks. They haven't scored against anybody. I think they're averaging like 10 points a game. They've played the Dolphins and they played the Browns. And then last week they played, was it the Buffalo? Mm-hmm. Their offense looks bad. I don't know what's going on with them. And the Texans put up a clunker last week and hardly scored any points. And then they didn't score a lot against the Bears the week before. So I think the Texans are still trying to figure out some their offensive strengths. And I think Jacksonville, I don't know what's going on with their offense. To me, that smells like under. Jaguars, Texans under 45.
I like it. Vikings and Packers. Vikings undefeated. Sam Darnold looking like an MVP candidate.
Yes.
Give me Vikings plus 2.5. Jordan Love still injured. Vikings are on a roll. This is a rivalry game. Vikings, they're undefeated. Hadn't been stopped. So
and they look good too. It ain't like the Steelers where they're just barely winning, find a way to win. They're 3-0. The Vikings look like maybe one of the best teams in the league, 3-0. I mean, that's how good the Vikings have looked in Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Sam Darnold looked like the early MVP favorite.
Yeah. I mean, Vikings plus 2.5.
Yeah. My last bet, Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Eagles. Give me Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 1.5. A home team getting points. There's nothing better than that. Eagles barely squeaked by the Saints last week. I don't think they're going to have the same luck with the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are a pretty damn good football team. Give me Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers plus 1.5 hosting the Eagles Sunday.
Another road team getting 2.5 points. Saints and Falcons. Saints look pretty good. Give them to me. Saints plus 2.5 on the road. The 1-2 Falcons. It's in a dome. Saints play. I think this is going to be another home game. Alvin Kamara looks awesome. I don't think Atlanta's defense is good enough to duplicate what Philly was able to do against the Saints. I think Kamara is going to run free inside the Atlanta Dome and inside the Georgia Dome down there. So give me Saints plus 2.5.
All right. And you got one more?
I do got one more, man. Jets and the Broncos. Jets, they're back to life. Aaron Rodgers looking pretty good. Throws his first touchdown is to a first-round wide receiver in Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, saw that
last week before last. Packers should be ashamed of themselves.
Should be.
That stat. They go for Hall of Fame QB. They should be ashamed of themselves. Give me the Jets -7. Just think they're that much better. They play great defense. Offensively, I think they're better than the Broncos. Defensively, better than the Broncos. I think the Jets -7.
And the Broncos stink. Bo Nix is struggling. Everybody hyped him up in the preseason. He stinks so far through 3 weeks. The Broncos stink. I think the Jets probably roll. Good bet. All right, let's do the grind recap here. Starting with Jimmy, his college bets. Miami, Virginia Tech, over 54.5. Arkansas +4. Oklahoma -2.5. Stanford, Clemson over 57. Georgia -2.5. SMU, Florida State over 47. His NFL bets. Patriots, 49ers under 41. Vikings +2.5. Saints +2.5. Jets -7. Myself, Creta 3. My college bets on 2 Friday night bets. Miami -19, laying the big number. Also on Friday, Rutgers -2.5. 2 Saturday bets. I got Michigan -9. Illinois +19. 3 NFL bets. Thursday night, Cowboys, Giants under 45.5. Jaguars, Texans under 45. Buccaneers +1.5. So there's our picks. There's our recap. Trying to build on the little bit of momentum we had from last week. Keep that going. We were the hottest show on YouTube last year in bets. Can't say that this year, but a lot of ball left to play.
Yeah.
A lot of picks, a lot of research left to do. Feel confident we'll get it turned around. Last week, even though I went 500, that's way better than like 25% what I was doing. So
yeah, no joke, man. And it's a new animal, man. Football this year is a new animal.
It is. The books are out on fire. They're winning. They're winning more money than one of the last couple of years combined.
And we got to figure out how to adapt. We got to adapt.
I've still had success with unders this year in the NFL. That's still been my bread and butter. I went almost exclusively to that last week, and I won all of them but one. So I'll take a winning record every week on the under. So that's why I got 2 unders again this week. So
I like it.
All right,
we'll get it figured out.
Yeah,
we're just
we're just gonna keep climbing
into our own.
Keep climbing that mountain. Thanks for listening to the show. Check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Gridiron Grind. Like, comment, subscribe, both of those. Also, our website, gridirongrindsports.com. Check it out. So, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Cowboys, don't forget, Thursday night, hosting or on the road at the Giants, but we've dominated the Giants the last couple of years. Ever since Dak's been there, he's like on year 9, year 8? No, 9. I think he's only lost to the Giants 3 times in 8 full seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, dominated the Giants.
I think so. I hope so.
Thursday night. So, we'll see. Again, thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. YouTube, Apple Podcasts. We'll see you guys next week. See you, Jimmy.